everyone. So as you can see, it's a beautiful day here in Melbourne, Australia, and so I was just thinking, why not just stay indoors and do some cooking. So I'll see you in a minute. So welcome to my kitchen. It's very crowded, very small. We're in my apartment here, and this is a new adventure for me. I've never done this before, and you know, let's make it a challenge and try to do something a bit interesting. So the plan today is to do seared scallops on a bed of celeriac puree and with some yabbits, which is a from the same family as crayfish, but they only grow in New South Wales, or at least that's where you can buy them, and also in Victoria, where I'm right now. And I got them from Big Market this morning. So they're chilling out right now in some salted water to just purge them from any mud flavor and like the intestines, etc. So yeah, that's kind of where we are right now. Let me just bring you back or closer to where we are here. So here, as I said, we have our little guys. They're just like, you know, chilling. They don't know what's going to happen to them, but that's what we're going to go for. Up here we have the celeriac, which is like incredibly ugly vegetable, and I forgot, we're gonna get these guys. We said the seared scallops are going to be on a puree of that guy, but these dudes, we're gonna put them on a puree of Granny Smith apples, and that's gonna be pretty cool. And for the central piece, what I'm thinking is, let's throw in a lobster in the middle, you know, why not? And also maybe one of the key the key kind of things that I wanted to maybe explore with you is showing you one technique to do an amazing dipping sauce that comes from the Sichuan province. And for this one, it's not just about, you know, the ingredients that they put in there. It's the cooking technique, and we're gonna pour like hot peanut oil on like raw garlic and chives and, you know, coriander, etc., and that will create an amazing flavor. And the operation is quite explosive. So when you do this, you're gonna take some precautions. It's a very special cooking technique. But I hope you're gonna like it. So with that said, let's start with the celeriac puree. Alright, so this is celeriac roots. So this is the stuff like this, like the branchy part here, that's what people would consider like celery. You know, the stuff that you use for Bloody Mary. And you know, when you use it also for the Holy Trinity, like the Caribbean and everything. Tomatoes, no, not tomatoes, carrots, celery, like onion. So this is definitely part of like a cooking experience. But what we're gonna do today is we're not gonna use that at all. We're just gonna use like this little guy. And it has an incredible flavor. It's a root, so it's, you know, substitutable for like potatoes, but you know, you definitely lose some of the particular aspects of the celeriac roots. Or also Jerusalem artichokes are amazing, you know, roots as well, that you should definitely explore if you want to like find some like new things to enjoy, especially like thinly sliced and just like fried in oil, just like chips. So that's fantastic. But essentially we don't want the top, and we're gonna have to clean this guy. Like the exterior is incredibly like rough, you know, and this is actually pretty clean for, you know, the standard. So normally you have like dirt and everything. So what I'm gonna do as a first step is just shave off the exterior and expose the white inside. So let's do that together. So first of all, we just want to take off that thing here. We don't need that. And we can also just take off the bottom here. And you can see like the inside is pretty white. Now that we have that done, we're just gonna follow the outside here, and take off this exterior. And don't be afraid. I mean, we're definitely losing a large chunk of like the actual vegetable when we do this, but you don't want to have any of this exterior and dirt into your puree. So let's be generous when we cut this off. And this, I'm cooking for just myself here, so this is going to be plenty of puree. Remember, it's just like a bed. It's just like a little dollops that we're going to put the scallops on. So we don't need much. So this is plenty. So let's just go ahead and finish this off. So I think that's pretty good. Let's also get rid of these parts here. We don't want any of this brown stuff. And yeah, so here we have it. So it has a very nice smell, very earthy, and I mean it's smells like celery, but it's the root part, and yeah, it's just lovely. So let's go ahead and so this stuff here, we can discard that. Don't need that at all. And we're going to cut this up now in small bits and pieces. So we're going to essentially just cut like a 1.5 centimeter wide kind of like slices here. It's not really important like how thick the slices are, to be honest. The only thing that matters is that they need to be the same size, because we're going to cook them and we don't want some of the parts to cook faster than others. So we just want to cube them essentially. So here we have, just finish this. A sharp knife helps, which I do have, and I'm absolutely happy with that. The thing that actually got me to cook, because I have huge experience, I've cooked for like 3 years. I mean, some people have cooked since childhood, so I'm absolutely new to this. And the only thing is that you get to eat this stuff, so that was kind of motivating me. And so that's why I started to cook here while I'm in this COVID situation. I mean, it's over now, but I started when I was kind of stuck here, and I was thinking, hey, Uber Eats is nice, DoorDash is also nice, but I think I should take advantage of this situation to get to learn something new. So here we have all our little cubes here, and just to give you an idea of the size, this is what you're looking for, I would say, something like that. And we're just gonna put that into we're gonna cook them in some cream with some salt and pepper, and see if we add anything else to that, and then we're just gonna blend that. So because those guys are in my pot, I'm gonna have to transfer them somewhere else and free that pot essentially from these invaders, and I will see you in shortly. So here we have one of those like yabbit guys. They need to be alive, very important. Otherwise, some of those, like the crab, for example, when it dies, it gets toxic really quickly. So that's why crab is usually either cooked on the ship and then frozen, or maintained alive for you to actually cook it and have like this impression of freshness. Although I think the ones being cooked on the ship are definitely worth. It's the same thing as like the fresh guys, but yes, let's see what happens with this. This is the first time I'm actually having these kind of protein, so we're gonna see what happens when we cook it, and how it tastes with some of our sauces. And yeah, let's move on. So this is my my pan that I'm gonna cook the celeriac in. It's a Calphalon pan, green pan, which is like supposedly really high end and everything, and I was really happy that I could find that. But you know, I've only really cooked like rice and noodles in this, and I just looked at it last night and I could just see that there's like been flaking here. I don't know if you can see this, but you know, it's been starting to, it's not residue from before, it's just like flaking off here. So I don't know, I've been using this for like 2 years and it's already, you know, breaking up. So I don't know what to think about this brand. That's just me venting. See you soon. Alright, let's do this. So I'm just gonna take this, put them in here, and one of the important bits is we are going to use some cream. So this is some you know, just some regular cream from Tassie. It's an amazing cream, the best one that I know of. So let's just get that open. All right, we're just gonna pour that in. Let's just pour that in, scrape off some of these guys in here as well. I know this is a bit guerrilla style, but you know, it works. The other thing that we need is like, it's you know, it's liquid, but I'm gonna add like half a cup of water in here, just to make it, the celeriac needs to cook, so they need to be in some sort of, you know, liquid. So let's put that on the stove. All right, let's bring this up to a boil. So, you know, I'm not going to show you the entire process. This could take a while, but you know, I'm just like, at the moment I'm having it on high heat. I don't know if that's how it's supposed to be, but we essentially need to soften these guys. So when it gets up to like a boil, I guess, maybe like too little water here. We're gonna add some water, get it up to the boil. When it boils, we're gonna turn it down, I guess, so it doesn't just mush. We need it to be just soft, not mashed, and definitely not hard, of course. Then I'm gonna add another half a cup of water, because I think that this needs to be not submerged, but at least all the pieces needs to be like at least covered. So we'll add some more. So we're now at we're at a cup and a half right now. I'm gonna add another one so we can round it up to 2 cups of water. So now, improvisation. So celeriac by itself is great, but I just have this feeling that we should add some salt and pepper right now. And I'm running out of pepper, so let's just take some kosher salt. I'm gonna add some pepper. I just need to fill it. Just put some salt in here. I'd say a teaspoon of salt. And what I think would be pretty nice would be to throw in some bay leaves, from Coles. Very good. So these are like fresh ones. I think that's gonna be okay. Let's put in 2. Let's see what happens. We can always readjust in the next time we do this. And yeah, let's just, as I said, let's bring this up to a boil. Let me refill my grinder with some pepper. I'm out of pepper, but I have them down here, so I'm just going to refill this guy, and I'm going to add some pepper, but I'm going to cut the video here so you don't have to see this whole thing happening. Okay, the pepper is in, and I just wanted to take a moment to introduce you to this little thing. I found this at Kohl's because at the end of the day we're going to have to, you know, puree this guy, and we're gonna have to make like nice kind of like beds for the scallops. So what I'm thinking is like we puree this, we put it in here, and then we can just like squeeze and make like nice little like blobs at somewhere on the plate. But I'm just looking at this, and I'm looking at the hole here. Like so, let me see the hole if you can see that. Let's see if it focuses. Alright, too close. Alright, it doesn't focus. But basically, the hole up here is for like, you know, mustard size, or like I guess ketchup size or something. It's gonna be too small for us, so I'm gonna take off the tip here to enlarge the hole, so we can get like so we don't have to squeeze and make little spirals everywhere. We want it to like come out like a bit more denser. So I'm just going to cut this guy off and this, because this is not going to fit anymore after that. Let's turn this down like I said, and yeah, let's wait and see what happens here. So this in theory in about 10 minutes should be done. So I'm gonna cut this off, wait 10 minutes, and then we'll take it from there. We're gonna strain this and then puree it with this guy here, but I'll get to that in a moment. So a tragedy happened and is currently happening. It's the milk, or the cream, is starting to foam, and all our beautiful, you know, pepper and everything gets, you know, not right. So keep an eye on the temperature here. We're kind of like, I think we're maybe 7 minutes in or something. Sorry, 7 minutes in. We're almost there, but keep an eye on the temperature so that you don't run into this kind of issues that I did. I'm having it on like, I mean, from a scale of 1 to 10, or like 1 to 9, I'm having it on 6 right now. Seems to be working, but something that does make a bit of a difference is to kind of like, when you put the lid on, to you know, give it a little bit of space here so the steam can come out. And I'm going to reduce this a little bit more. Let's put it on 5 to see if we can, you know, mitigate this particular situation. Okay, so we're coming up to the 10 minutes mark, and it looks pretty good to me. But you know that if the deed is done when, you know, you take a knife and, you know, that you do the poka thing, where you just try to get one, and if your celeriac doesn't come up when you try to, you know, try to pick them, if they don't come along with your knife, I mean this one does, but it falls off, it's pretty much done. So we can move on to the next stage. Alright, so the next stage is to take one of these guys and to take this thing, obviously, and just strain it. I reckon the water / cream and the bay leaf and the salt and pepper and everything that's in that juice would be fantastic in the bechamel, but we're not doing that, so we're just going to throw all that liquid away. We're not going to use it, and we're gonna let that, you know, let that drain properly for, you know, some time. So let's just like leave that there, and then just let that maybe cool down a little bit. I read somewhere that it's important to let it cool down, because when we put our mixer in here, some mixes are plastic and heat reacts really badly, and it's even worse when you have like a spinning blade that's going to break, and that's bad news. So let this cool a little bit. Mine is actually metal, so I could just like go for it right now. But for good measure and from an education point of view, let's just cool down. It's gonna be cold anyway, so who cares? So I realized that we don't have like a lot of celeriac, and I can't just like blend it in like the pot that we used to, you know, cook it in. So I just found this little, you know, one-man show little dude here that we're gonna put the celeriac in here and we're gonna blend it. We know this like general purpose like blender. This is a Bamix one, which is awesome. But I just wanted to call out a few things here. Is that normally this is attached to like a blade, but it comes with this option of having this little thing on it. And I just wanted to make sure that I pass on this knowledge that there is a little hatch here. That hatch needs to be inside that little pin here. Otherwise, you're in a world of potential harm. So when you put this on, make sure that that little pin is inside that hatch. So now that that's done, let's take our celeriac here and just like put that in this little bowl here. So oops, let's put that back in as well. All right, so here we go. Now we have these guys here. We may have to add some water depending on, we probably have to add some water, but let's see what happens. A little bit of water. If I had milk, I would put milk here instead, but I don't. So let's just go with water. All right, I think this is not too bad. Let's have a taste though. Oh wow, it's gonna work really nice. All right, this is gonna be perfect. Let's see if we can fit this thing into our squeeze bottle that I showed earlier, which I've opened the hole for. Oh my god, let's just have that. All right, let's move on. Okay, here we are. We have our little guy here that I opened up a bit more, so it's like wider. And I'm sure there's a better way of doing this, but I'm just gonna spoon this thing in. Yeah, so it's gonna be probably, people will be shocked at this, but I think I don't have any other idea here. I mean, I guess if I had like a funnel or something, that could be like, that would work better. But this seems to work. Oh, it goes through. Okay, that's gonna help. All right, let's do this. Put that in here. This is the part they never show on like a video. It's probably the like messiest thing. They just say and then voila, you know, and you have it. But all right, this is like way more than what we need anyway. We just clean this. All right. Put this thing on, and this fits. No, it doesn't. I knew that. But all right, so our celeriac puree done. Put that here to be used later. Now let's move on to the apple puree. All right, for the apple puree, we're gonna do something a bit more fancy. So we're gonna have to peel this first. So just go around the apple, and then follow through. Don't do it up and down. It's a waste of time. So let's just do that. Long strips. So these are Granny Smith apples. We're gonna use those today, but I think it kind of works with anything. But these guys contains a bit more, acidic things to it, I would say. So like this one is pretty okay. We're gonna use 3 of these, and I will cut the video so you don't have to watch me peel apples. Just get this one done. Maybe I just like speed up. Be cool effect. Alright, so just like with the celeriac, we're going to dice this into small cubes. Try not to get too much of the core in there. I don't think it's that useful. Actually, let me just take off a bit more of that. Alright, so there we have our first apple. Let's just cut that into smaller pieces here. So we're gonna blend this as well. So this is just to make sure that they cook evenly. So the size isn't usually important. It's just, again, it has to be like relatively speaking the same kind of size. So let's cut this up. We're gonna have way too much, so I'm gonna have some. Missed that one. Okay, it's not science, right? You can be approximately. And let's do the last one. And there we go. Alright, so here we have it. Alright, so what we have here is we have a teaspoon of mixed pepper, corn. We have a teaspoon of fennel seeds and a teaspoon of mustard seeds. Then down here we have a quarter teaspoons of cloves, quarter teaspoons of salt, 2 tablespoons of white wine vinegar, and then we have about 2 tablespoons of sugar here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these apples and we are going to saute them in butter and this mixture here. And when the apples are soft and blendable and really, you know, caramelized, etc., I'm going to blend that and put it in another squeeze bottle. So let's do that. Alright, so we're going to start with some vegetable oils, just some cooking oil, about 5 tablespoons. I think that's, you know, eyeballing it. It looks like that's going to be the thing. High heat, and let's just throw our apples in there. The reason why we put in cooking oil is that because since we are going to put butter in here, butter burns, but it doesn't burn if it has like a colleague in there, like some oil with a high burning point. So that's why we put oil in here, and we're going to then put in all our spices like this guy. I would say be generous with the butter, and I will talk to you in a moment. The battery is running out of the camera, so we're gonna freestyle this, but you get the idea. But let me plug the battery in for recharge and take this off heat, and I'll show you the process in a moment. Okay, there's been about 3 hours recharging the battery. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna finish this part, like step 2, and I'm gonna finish the recipe tomorrow, because during these 3 hours a couple of beers went down, etc., and I don't want to mess this up. So let's just get the apple puree going, and I will finish the recipe tomorrow. So we have this on the high heat, and let's just get this heated up again. I started editing the video too, and you know, just carried away, you know, having fun, and so yeah, I think, yeah, let's break this up into 2 days, and let's see how we go from there. Okay, so we're getting to a point where any normal person would like take them off the heat. You know, we have some caramelization happening here, and you know, everything looks okay. I am going to take it just a couple of minutes more, just to get like a little bit more sugary fructose reaction going here. But if you want to take it off at this stage where it's like actually started to brown like pretty seriously, I think that's where you actually want to take it off. But I'm gonna just go a little extra mile, because I mean, you're cooking for yourself, so you're not cooking for a recipe, you're not cooking for, you know, like, do it the way you like, you know, and I think that's very important. There, you can't go wrong, really. You know, if you like follow these steps that I've been telling you, there is like no way you can go wrong with this. So yeah, let's see. those gloves, man. Wow, it's gonna be good. Anyway, I'll bring you back in a moment. All right, so here we are. This is the level at which I want to take those apples, and I think that's gonna be fantastic. So they're like almost charred right now, and you know, the scholars would say that you're crazy and everything, but I think this is gonna give like a bit like a roasted feel to the whole experience. So I mean, I may be totally wrong here. I'm just freestyling for you guys. As I said, I'm not like a professional cook by all means, but I think this is gonna be nice. So we're just gonna you know, turn it off at this point. And by the way, I've had this on medium heat for about 10 to 15 minutes, and this is the result you get. And remember, when we did the celeriac thing, we drained this, and I don't think I want to drain anything at this point. So let's take this out of the heat while I talk to you guys. I think we want to keep, you know, we have the white wine vinegar, we have a little bit of oil, we have the butter in here, we have the mustard seeds and everything. Let's just like get that in here, in our showman guy here. Let's blend that and let's make that our apple puree with everything in here, because it smells so awesome that I feel like it would be a sacrilege to disregard that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just like pour this thing into our solo guy here. So I'm going to just like readjust the camera so we can get that like in here. So I'm left-handed, so this is gonna look pretty awkward. I'm gonna try to do this with like a right hand thing. All right, let's see what this is. Alright, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be like transcendental. So I'm just gonna pour this in the squeeze bottle and let this cool though, because they're in like plastic. Don't want anything to melt. So I'm gonna cut the video right now, but you know what the deal is. We're gonna put this in the squeeze bottle. I'm gonna put this in the fridge, ready for tomorrow. And that's it, guys. So let me do that, and I'll just quickly do like a snippet when I have this done, and I'll give you a good night kiss. See you soon. Alright, so here we have it. I took everything from here, I just like dumped it right into this container here, ready to be squeezed onto our plate. This doesn't fit anymore because I cut this thing off. I understand that. I'm sure there are better containers to use than these ones, but I just wanted to find something to do this dish with you, so this is what I'm going to stick with. I'm going to put this in the fridge, and I will catch you guys tomorrow for the main plat de résistance. See you and have a good night. Bye.